All right, Emmanuel, I'm excited to talk to you. You're smiling, which is a good thing. Why don't you tell me what you're smiling about? How did the PMP exam go for you, man?
No, I'm excited. And I just can't thank you enough for having been with me on this journey. Um, I think we got in touch a month ago. It was about the 19th of June.
Yeah.
And that's when I landed on you. I got your contact from Facebook. That was just a few days after I had done my first exam attempt and I failed. Um, and I was really in the middle of thinking, okay, should I continue doing this or I just let it go? Um, and thank God I landed on the um, PM Master Prep. I saw one of your videos on Facebook and I was like, probably this is what I need. I followed another video that you posted on Facebook and I was sure after following the two videos, I think you're talking to Melissa and
Yeah.
going through
Yeah.
her experience. And later on, I said, I need a community. I need somebody who can just guide me in this. So anyways, you gave your email there. I reached out. You were very quick enough to respond and we connected.
That's
So
cool.
a month after now, I I have my PMP certification.
That's crazy, man.
And yeah, I don't know how I would have done it without this program. So I'm really excited.
That's good, man. I'm glad. I mean, you worked really hard, you put in all the effort, and that's really good. So let's talk a little bit about kind of what it was like beforehand. You failed, it happens, that's okay. What were you doing in the old days? What were you doing to study that led you up to failing? Talk me through that, please.
So sorry about that.
All right.
Connect to my computer.
It's all right.
Um, so in April, that's when I thought, towards the end of March, that's when I really wanted to explore the opportunity to do the PMP.
Yeah.
And what a colleague of mine forwarded me was the PMI website where you can take the boot camp and later after the assumption was that the boot camp would be enough for you to be ready for the exam. So I did that. You follow a couple of videos, process by process.
Right.
Starts with the first process group. You go through the whole initiating, planning, executing, monitoring, and closing.
Yep.
And you follow all the processes. And once they are done, that's it. They give you a couple of prep questions, which you can take. And thereafter, it's just up to you to take the exam and pass or not. So I followed that. And at the end of the course, I thought I was ready for the exam. And I sat for the exam. I really had a bad experience of that. I went into the exam really not having the understanding of the whole project management analogy of PMI. I had my head really quite heavy.
Okay.
I had really a pile of materials in me. And I went into the exam. I really flagged a lot of questions. I was really bad on time. And at the end of the exam, the result wasn't good.
Right.
Now, afterwards, I reflected for a week and I was just like, I really need to do the exam when I feel I'm ready and I really have the content of the whole program.
Okay.
I was also struggling to think whether, do I need to do it or not?
Right.
And again, I landed on my program. So before I started this program, yes, I understood the whole layout of PM book, but I don't think I really mastered what is done in each process group. And I think I lacked the whole connection of the way you lay it out in your 7 key flows, where you really connect all the dots, and you know what you need to do in which process group, how are the processes connected to each other, what feeds into the other. And that just unlocked the whole PM book for me, and I felt ready for the exam.
Oh, wow.
I think the program, the way it's laid out and structured, it's just meant to have you really master the content of PM book and really understand it in a meaningful way.
Okay.
The content, the way it's laid out in videos, the e-course, the prep questions laid out in process group, and by that I'm referring to the seven day accelerator program that I do.
Yeah.
It just kills it.
Yeah.
And the time when I finished the 7-day accelerator program, I felt very ready.
Oh,
what I needed to do was to now, okay, make the whole game plan to face the exam, which is another content. It's another level. You need to fight the fatigue. You need to fight you need to really build your muscles to have perseverance in the exam. I mean, 4 hours time sitting down is not an easy thing. You need to work on your time management. You need to have the whole plan of how you attempt the questions. I mean, the way you lay it out, read the last sentence, read the whole question, read the answers, narrow them down to 2, choose the best out of 2, move on.
Yeah.
That worked well for me. I mean, I never felt like I was spending much time on a question. I was just like, okay, I got this. Same logic repeatedly. From question number 1 to the last question. You got not to miss that on any of the questions. And that gives you really, real energy to just see success in front of you. And that builds the perseverance. That builds the strength and the energy you need to fight the fatigue. So it was really great feeling that doing the exam. I mean, I had a few hiccups that I mentioned to you. But the rest of the exam was really a whole different experience from the one I had when I took at my first attempt of the exam. So yeah, that's how it went. And at the end, you get to that page where you get the congratulations. When I got to that page, it was just like, okay, I got this. This is what I waited for. And over the whole course of the exam, I'll tell you, I felt real control of the exam. I felt like, okay, I think at the first part of the exam, I flagged like 3 questions. In the last, I had flagged more than 20 questions. And it's like, the second part, I flagged like 2 questions. I finished over 20 minutes ahead of time.
Wow.
So I had enough time to go back and see what I flagged, really have that feel before I click submission.
Wow.
And once I submitted, I mean, it's that whole page of congratulations, celebrate your PMP success. And it's just such a great moment for me.
Really
so
good.
Yeah.
I'm super happy for you. Like, I remember the first time we met, and then like what you were talking about, and how we laid it out. And it's so great to see the evolution and how you went through and you did so well. Like, you mentioned a lot of stuff. You mentioned the course, some of the videos, the 7 flows. People keep saying that's a really impactful one, which is great. You also mentioned community. I know that you were on coaching calls. When you think through either the breakthrough videos or the community or the coaching calls, I know you said they all helped you, but which one do you think was the biggest help for you as far as like to help you get, a good understanding of the PMP?
Oh yeah. So you put me on the coaching group of Salvador, who was just magic.
He's magic.
So I joined the group. I think we were about 7 people in that group.
Yeah.
And were spending a little bit over 1 hour. So we had 2 hours a week, so 2 days a week,
Yep.
1 hour each day. And what you do, you get there, you are with your colleagues, you're in front of the coach, and he shares the screen. Everybody's taking a question after another.
Yeah.
And that itself puts you on the spot that you actually will be on taking the test. And you're just like, okay, the coach is looking at me, my colleagues are with me. It's as if you're in the class.
Right.
And then you answer the questions. Of course you fail. Some you fail them.
Yeah.
And the good thing that when you fail them, you definitely understand why you failed them.
Yes.
You see where you missed the point. Your colleagues chime in to give feedback. Your coach gives you feedback. And of course, others, you do them well. And the coach asks you, why did you choose that answer, which is the best answer?
Yeah.
You walk him through the way you really uncoded the question. And that is really huge in building your confidence and trust in yourself.
Yeah.
And you're part of that community. You're as if you have classmates, you have your teacher, and that is added to the whole chat group you are part of on the PMP, on the PM Master Prep website,
Right.
where we have a variety, hundreds of other students.
Yeah.
And you keep seeing those colleagues who have passed the exam, and you're just like, okay, I want to be there. They share the experiences. I mean, it's a whole motivation being part of the course.
Yeah.
And so that sense of community helped me a lot. And then when I get to the content, I mean, I can't tell you enough how I enjoyed the whole flow of the material. The e-course, which I took, the John video, how John really goes through all of those scripts on each process and process group. And then the 7-day, the deep dive videos,
yeah,
the motivational verb of the day,
yeah,
the last questions you take at each day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was doing that, balancing it with work, but I was finding up to like 3 to 4 hours a day in the evening hours to do that. And I really wanted to do it. But the material, the community you're part of, the whole flow of the material and the way it's built up, it really prepares you to succeed, the PMP.
That's awesome.
Which is way different from the PMI bootcamp that I took. It was just like, you follow the video, you're on your own. Whether you get it right or wrong, it's up to you. You paid, you're interfacing with this video, and once you get to the last video, that's it.
Yeah.
And I think it's a whole disconnect. I mean, it's not even comparable, I have to say, which means even the comparison of how I was before I took this course and how I feel now after taking the course and actually passing the PMP. So I can say more about the content, the sense of community, the coaching, which builds the confidence you need, which builds the confidence and trust in yourself that you need, which gives you the whole motivation mood, seeing others pass the PMP, and really getting to see where you're missing points and where you're connecting them. So at the end, the first weekend, towards the weekend that I took the exam, Salvador, my coach, asked me to start taking the 200 question prep test.
Yep.
That's a whole another experience. Really gives you the whole experience you will have on the exam. Mm-hmm. First one, I got 70, 75. And then after the other 4, I think that I took, were between 80s to 90s. Wow. And I maintained that. And I was sharing my results with my coach, and he was guiding me where I need to do that. And what was interesting is that he noted and I understood that I had the content, but I now needed to boost my focus on the
Yeah.
question. Because the moment I was going through the completed prep tests,
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at the questions that I failed and I was just like, I knew the answer. I can't give these questions away this way.
Yeah.
And what I lacked was the focus and making sure that I methodically attempt the questions and get the answers right.
Mm.
So that's all I needed. And I think I'm really happy with this course, and I would totally recommend to others. This is the course you need if you want to pass the PMP, I have to tell.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love I love to hear that about, because what makes Salvador, and all our coaches are great, but what makes Salvador really great is that he was, from what you're saying, he was providing you individual guidance and attention, not just like, hey, let's go through questions and walk through them and let me explain it. But he was, it sounds as though, and correct me if I'm wrong, he was providing you individual kind of guidance to say, hey, you're building up your skills, but now you need to take that next step and work on focus. And he was observing that in you and helping you get there. So I really love the fact that he was doing that, and he's diving into it, and obviously it worked for you really well. You know,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's
We got to the level where he told me, and I actually agreed. He said, you have all the content right in
Mhm.
your head. You need to work on the game plan to pass the exam. And that was great to hear him. And I agreed with him because I was really being mad at me looking at the questions that I failed on the prep tests.
Yeah.
It's like, how could I give away these questions this way cheaply? And he said, work on your time management, work on your perseverance, work on your focus to
Mhm.
get this right. And the last call I had with him, it's just like when you say we will guarantee you that you will pass the PMP. The last call I had with him, he said, I can't wait for any other response other than success. And I carried that with me, and it's just like, I can't let down my coach. I know he's waiting for this response. I got to get it back to him, which I did. So yeah, Salvador, he doesn't tell you the answer. He doesn't say, okay, I got this for you. He just tells you, here's how you can get it.
Yeah.
Here's what you're missing to get there. Here are your gaps. I mean, and again, he's been into this just like how you did.
Yep.
And he can tell you, he walked us through the one pagers that he developed towards the end of his course. And at the end, I also developed my one pager, which is, I can show it to you here.
Oh, I like it.
It's just, I called it the PMP game plan.
Oh.
And I knew, okay, I need focus. I need to fight fatigue. I need to manage time. And then I need to have the logic of attempting questions. And I kept all of this. I kept all of this throughout the exam. And I was telling you, this was a game changer.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, and again, the course doesn't necessarily only prepare you to have clear understanding of the PM book,
Mm-hmm.
the way it's laid out. It also prepares your mentality and the level of readiness, physical and mental, that you need to succeed. So that is the key thing that I found, which I was lacking, I have to tell you.
Yeah, me too.
Like I said, I got into the exam, getting on Proctor, type online, I was at home. First 10 questions, the first 10 minutes, I was quite nervous. It's like, okay, I can't afford failing again.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, after the first 10 minutes, I was really in the game. Was answering questions confidently. I was very sure this was the right answer.
Nice.
following the method. And I was just like, really, I had that smile on and on, going through the exam. And I knew the last answer was going to be congratulations, which I did. So,
Man, you gave me a ton of great ideas just then. And I love it. Like, what I really like about what you just talked about is you didn't just like wait for information to come at you. Oh, I'll take it like a normal class and my coach will feed me in a sense. I think the
yeah,
environment that we've set up, and like that's what I've tried to teach with all the coaches, and that's the way it's organized, is that yeah, we're giving you information, we're guiding you along, but just like you said, we're not trying to say, Emmanuel, this is exactly the answer, here's exactly the definition. Like, we're providing all the support for you, but we're allowing you to kind of like walk yourself to the answer and guiding you the entire way and saying, no, come on, like you can pull through this. And like, I love that. I love the fact
yeah,
that you created your own. So that, do not throw that piece of paper away, because I would like to use that piece of paper, because I think that you've hit on the key points
yeah,
that you need to do to manage your mind. And
yeah.
so let's go through those one by one, if you don't mind. So in your little circle, it was like your game plan for the day. What was the first little, this is a mind map, by the way, in the PMP
Right.
like parlance, that's a mind map. What
Okay.
was the first thing that came off of it? What was the first bubble that came off there?
Yeah, and again, I was working on my weaknesses,
Mm-hmm.
and the way I laid it out here, I don't know if you can see it.
I can see it.
What came to mind first was the logic and sequence
Mm-hmm.
of attempting questions. So you gotta have in mind the first process group. When you read the question, as you said repetitively in your videos,
Mm-hmm.
where are you? And that helps you completely eliminate the answers that you know, oh, are referring to other processes that are ahead of where am I now.
Right. Right. Yeah.
That
That's good.
one you completely rule it out. And then you remain with answers that are about two, which now
Mm-hmm.
you're debating on which one that really is in the line of the PMI mode of being collaborative, in solving questions, resolving conflicts. How do you handle things as not getting in and you're just like, you're fired?
Mm-hmm.
No, work through resolution of issues. So you debate on the two and you choose the best.
Yeah.
But the first thing is that, where am I?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in the 7 flows, okay, where am I? Do I need to do a change request? Is the change request approved? Do I need to update the baselines? Oh, do I have verified deliverables? Then I proceed to validate scope. Oh, is this feeding back is this an approved change request feeds back into direct and manage project work? Like the whole of that analogy
Mm-hmm.
really was just like around my mind answering the question,
That's beautiful.
right? Locate yourself, the EVM communication and beta formulas. Oh boy, EVM made easy. That table where you have, I never even wrote it on the whiteboard. I
Yeah.
had that really figured in my mind.
Nice.
Um, I had 3 EVM questions. 2 were more interpretive,
Yeah.
and 1 was they gave all the baselines. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, project budget, plan
Mm-hmm.
value, and value, actual cost. And he just like, what is the CPI? I was just like, this is the candy. I want more of this. So I did that. So that's one. Second,
Yeah.
that comes to mind, okay, focus. Make sure you focus. Don't rush. Don't feel like I'm rushing. I'm on a rush. Oh, time is up. No, focus.
Mm-hmm.
And third one, fight fatigue. At times you get to the point you're really tired,
Mm-hmm.
you're feeling the fatigue. No. Fight fatigue. Have that positive attitude.
I love it.
Just visualize success in front of you, and that really fights fatigue back. I have. I'll tell you. I mean, I've lived this, and your futuring success. I had made a promise that I won't be spending about a minute on each question to save more time. And
Yeah.
I had built that doing the timers and the prep questions. And lastly, manage your time.
Mhm.
Yeah. Always look at the time. What's the time? Where am I on the question? I mean, I was taking 1 minute pause after 30 questions, as you said. Okay, where am I in the marathon?
Mhm.
And that allows you to say, okay, I'm good.
Mhm.
I'm behind. I need to build momentum. I'm doing okay. And that whole mind map to take the exam really, really helped me, I have to tell you. And I never felt worried. I would never felt the exam being out of my control. No. Memorizing, I have to tell you, will never work for anybody. And I can see how many people fail just because they just pump all the material in their head. They take the prep questions and they're just like, okay, I know the answers for such a question. No, it will not work. Each question comes differently. It's situated. Over 80% of the questions that I took were more situational.
Mhm.
Ends with the sentence, what should the project manager do? What should the project manager should have done? What should the project manager do first?
Mhm.
What should the project manager do next? Like, when you have those situational questions and you are able to answer the right technique or tool, the right input or output, the right action to take, the right way of managing a risk, the right way of resolving a conflict, it becomes situational. So with memorizing, you can see that it can't just work with such a situation of questions. And I'll tell you, on my exam, over 80% were questions of that kind. And I was just laughing when I got to the middle. I was just like, this is why I failed the first attempt of the exam, because I went into the exam at the first attempt with my head really heavy. I thought, okay, I've seen these similar questions will come and answer them. It didn't work. But having the process mapped out in your head just helped me pass this exam. And I can totally recommend this to other students. Follow the process, get your mind map to succeed. Just be able to be at the level where you can explain process groups to other people in your own words.
Yeah.
In your own words, just like how I laid out this game plan for me. Nobody wrote it for me. I
No.
just sat down and I was just like, I understand the PM book now. So which plan do I need to succeed the exam? And I did that. It's too much, but yeah.
It's as simple as that. This makes me so excited. I didn't say anything for the last 5 minutes, and it's it's the best I've ever heard. Like, I
Yeah.
think that man, do you realize what you just did? Like, you just taught the PMP like philosophy approach. You broke it down in
Yeah.
your own words in really quickly, succinctly, 3 minutes or so. Like, we're not built like, I just realized, like, when people say, hey, I'll guarantee you pass the exam, we're making coaches. Like, you're not a PMP graduate now. You're like you're a coach. Like, at this point, like, you can teach the PMP. And I think if you have the perspective, you have the knowledge, the confidence, the humbleness, the passion, and like the enthusiasm to be able to lead other people through. So while all these other classes, I think, are just like, try to get over the finish line and just barely pass and be done with it and forget about it. It seems to me that now you could teach people to get through the PMP at this point. I don't know if you feel that way, but it seems like it to me.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Even just the day towards the day of the exam, I really didn't open the platform. I mean, I had this book
Yeah.
which I was using over the course of the time I was taking the exam. And as you can see, each day, all the notes that I was taking, at the end of the day, I was just crossing them down. Just like, took these notes, I'm done with this, done. And I move on. And So the day before the exam, I just didn't do anything. Um, Took time to walk around. I jogged around my neighborhood and came back, took a shower, had my private time at home. And I was just like trying to get the content I had fly over, visualize how the flows are, the process group, when does each and everything come in. And my wife was telling me, okay, you have an exam tomorrow. I say, true, I have it. And she's like, you're so relaxed and you should be in your office studying. I said, I'm done. And she's like, you sure? So we were talking after I took the exam, and it's just like, you knew you had this exam because the way you were relaxed um, just meant that it just meant what you received as the outcome. So, but the thing is, it comes back to what I said. In addition to understanding the content of the material, you also need to prepare your physical and mental stability.
Yeah.
For you to face the exam. And I find that it's another thing that some students lack, not because they don't know the content, they have not invested their time in studying. They get to the exam and they are nervous. They know, many people know they were taking the course and they are doing the exam, and it's just like, okay, what will happen if people learn that I failed? They have set their milestones, they have other things to do. If they fail, it's a big blow for them. And that just like takes them away and deprives them from success.
Yeah.
So I knew that, and I wanted to work on it. And I knew at my work, there's a couple of big projects lined up to do. So the next coming month are going to be busy for me. And I was just like, I need to get this done before I get to the busy time. But I just think that this course just was for me to achieve this. So prepare your mental and physical readiness.
Yep.
Make sure that you have the right content. Avoid memorizing. Will never help. For sure, will never help. Figure out your own words of articulating the PM book. Then you got it.
Then you
That's
got it.
that's what I would tell. Yeah.
I love it. You summarized it so well. I'm going to ask you in a little bit if you want to coach for us. I'm framing it up right now. I know the busy time's coming, but all I need is an hour and a half or an hour a week, because there's a lot of people out there like you that need help, and I think you could help a lot of people. So I know, just think about it while we talk about it. And so you said, get it in your own words. Was that an easy process? Was it a frustrating or scary process? Did it come to you like that, or did it take a while to like get the words out, Emmanuel style, instead of just Scott or Salvador? How did that go to get it in your words?
No, to be honest, the moment I finished the 7-day accelerator program, I already had my analogy of the PM book. Totally.
Okay.
The 7 flows just nailed it. Getting to know like the 2 process group, initiating and closing. Those ones I just like took them as candies. I was just like, I won't spend too much time on these ones.
Right.
These are out. 2 processes in the initiating group, 1 process in the closing group. I mean, so easy. And I always felt mad at me failing the question that was lying in those 2 process groups. Totally. I was really feeling really bad of me.
Yeah.
And then I said, okay, what remains is the planning, the executing, the monitoring and controlling. Yeah. And that's where the real heavy work happens. Planning, it's more of, making the plans, setting the baselines, you got it. You're planning to set off. Executing, as you say in your words, that's where the rubber meets the road. Right. That's where the actual work gets done. Acquire resources, do the actual work to deliver deliverables. I mean, resources means human resource, material resource, develop team, manage stakeholders, I mean, manage everybody, get all the dots connected to deliver the work. And then monitoring and controlling, I knew, okay, I'm evaluating how I'm doing on what I plan to do. It's more of comparing what you plan to do and what you actually did, right?
Yeah.
If it confirms, you are good. Proceed to acceptance.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, change request. You go back. That's it.
That's it.
And then I took that in my mind, and I don't think this will get out of my mind. And I think it's the big takeaway I've taken from this course, which will be helping me in all the projects I'll be touching. So having that analogy in you helps you a lot. And then the rest is the whole methodical and behavioral approach of PMI, of resolving issues, conflicts, developing the team, being more structured in the way you manage meetings and other convenings, avoiding, firefighting, you were fired. You got a mistake, you were fired. No, work through to support the team to work through the issues they are going through, but still make sure that you know the right time to take action when it's needed to save the project. So that itself is a big takeaway I'm taking away from this course. And I think I've managed projects before, big projects, but I've never been to a level where I feel like, okay, this is the methodical way of getting things done. And it's a big takeaway I'm taking from here. So the coaching point, let me think about it. I'll let you know, but definitely I really love this program. And I could see how I can really give my opinions to people or also be successful, just like how I landed on you and you were just like, I will guarantee you that you will success the PMP. I wasn't sure how you were going to guarantee me that. But I saw it. Yeah,
it's a little risky, but it's I mean, once I talked to you and saw like the way you were gonna dive in and go for it, I felt pretty good about it. And then the thing is, like, when you go through the videos, it's not just like hey, I watch the videos, I can pass. It's once you get involved and you start thinking about it yourself, you're working with the coaches, then I mean, the biggest guarantee is that we're never going to let you down, or we're never going to not work harder than you, to support you. And so, Salvador, I think, I'm forever grateful for the way he works and the way you did. And so, you did an amazing job. You have a really great understanding and you did it really quickly. And it wasn't rushed. And like when we'll just leave it on this. Like a lot of people come to me and say, what should I do the last day of the exam or the day before the exam? And there's like videos out there on YouTube. This is exactly what you should do. You should study these processes and memorize this stuff. But all my students, and you included, say, I took a walk. I talked to my wife. I hung out with my husband. I went to get something to eat. I took a nap. I watched a movie. Like, I don't know that that's going to get the clicks on YouTube to say the day before the exam, take a nap. But I think if you get the understanding that you had, you just had the confidence to go out and you knew the work had been done and you knew that you could take on any situational question. Yeah, that's how we know. So, all right, to finish up.
The last part as an input is that, you're part of the community, you have the coach, you have your colleagues, but you also need to invest your time in real learning. Of course, I was working all day, but just being consistent in allocating real time, make sure that you know what you have accomplished that day really helps, as opposed to just sitting back and just like, okay, the coach has got it for me. You gotta need to put real effort to really work out and work through the weaknesses that you see in you, and those will help you prosper and progress well in your preparation for the exam. So I was working on was looking at all the weaknesses I was having. I was saying, I got this. I've known you now. Now I should get the answer. And it was really good to see how I progressed. And even the prep tests were demonstrating that from the time I scored 75, the rest of the tests that I took were between 80 and 90. And it was consistent. I did that, I think, 3 times, sharing my results with Salvador. And it was just like, it got him to the point of saying, okay, you're ready.
Yeah, you're ready.
You need to work on your mentality and the physical readiness to the exam. So and again, I mean, there's nothing I'm getting out of this, but I have to say your program is just the right program for everybody who wants to pass the PMP. It's just the right one. Yeah.
I appreciate it, man. All right, cool. So there are people out there. I appreciate everything that you did and you said. There are people out there that are like you. You know, they're hard workers. They work projects. They're trying to better themselves. And you mentioned something earlier. You said when you failed, you had a decision. You said, I don't know if I should go ahead and study again, or maybe I'll just give up. You didn't use those exact words, but it seemed as though you're trying to decide whether you're going to go forward.
Yeah.
And so there are a lot of people out there that are either have been studying for a long time and have feel just stuck and scared, or they failed 1 or 2 or more times. And they're at that point that you were. And so what would you say to those people to help them get to the place where you are now?
Yeah. First of all, they need the right program to prepare them to succeed the exam. And so that's the first thing they need. And secondly, they should not give up. I mean, if you know you want to build your career in the project management world, I mean, PMP certification gives you the foundation and all the skills you need to do that. So they should not give up as if the world has ended on them. They just need to get to the right program. And then after, they will be working to resolve all the weaknesses that they had at their first attempt. I think one of the things that helped me was to really know my baseline. Really, really know the baseline before I take off. I was just like, okay, I know I did this exam. I had that experience. I know how I entered the exam feeling. I know how I really didn't master well the content when I entered the exam. And now let me see how I can enter into the exam again with real confidence and trust in me that all I need out of the exam is success. Yeah, that's what drove me. So they need the right exam, just like the PM Master Prep program. I mean, I like PMI. I did the boot camp, but I will tell you, it was kind of hard for me to feel like I'm ready to do the exam after the boot camp. And actually, they tell you in their recommendations when you fail, they say, find a coach, find a community, get into a program where you're part of a group of other students. And it's just like, okay, you know this, why isn't it integrated in your program if you know this helps? And I actually got to validate that taking this program from PM Master Prep because it works. So I'm just wondering, okay, they know these things help, but they're not integrated in the program. So basically that just says the program is just not designed for you to succeed. I like PMI, but that's how I took both exams. So I feel fine to speak on what my experiences were on both programs, but all right. That's what I would say.
I think it's beautiful, man. I think that's really great. And the community, the support, the coach, you know, focused on you kind of program. That's what we're trying to do here, and I think that's what we're succeeding with. And so you're a testament to it. I know that you're on the fence with coaching, and I know it's busy, and I know everything, but I'm not going to let you go. Eventually, I'll continue to email you. I'll continue to do this stuff. I'll call your wife if I have to, and so so that you can. I think you have such a great thing, and you'd be an asset to us in the whole PMI world, PMP world. So think about it, sleep on it, but you're so darn good now that. That I can't let you go. And so that's the way it goes. But I really, really appreciate Emmanuel, and I'll let Salvador, know how well he already knows, but he was a big part of it. So I really appreciate you jumping on and sharing your experiences. We're going to use some of this, cut it up and use it in the accelerator, because the way you explain the mental side, it's perfect. I couldn't do it better. And so that's beautiful. So if you could do me a favor, take a picture of your mind map and email it to me so that I can integrate it into the content. What's that?
It's messed up a bit, but yes.
No, come on, man. It's not, we don't need perfection. We need actual things that worked for real students instead of some theoretical something that somebody came up for and never put it toward the test. So what you did worked. It breaks down my philosophy as well. So you said it better than me. So that's the best idea at this point, and it wins. So
thanks, Scott. I really appreciate it. And I think you're doing just the right thing. In case that motivates you to continue doing more of this. But yeah, you just got it. And the way you keep improving, integrating feedback from teams to help others who are coming on the program, really that helps. So thank you so much for the program and allowing me to be the student in the program. I hope I didn't cause too much burden on you.
No, it's great. You're the perfect student.
I'm really glad that I'm here. And we'll keep in touch.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, I'll send you an email and I'll follow up. You did a great job. So congrats and thanks for coming on. I appreciate it, man. See ya.
Thank you.
See ya.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.